got stiffer roll bars, dampers. Oh, it's just so agile. You do get quite a lot of pops on the overrun. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I am in this A35 AMG. Alongside me is...
I'm Hassan. This is my A35, got it about 5 weeks ago.
So
we were just saying it's a little pocket rocket. I think that's going to...
How have you been enjoying it so far?
Definitely, it's too much in... so better talk about it later with you. The running costs, maybe another video, but other than that, it's too tempting to put in Sport Plus every time I go down the road.
Now, Hassan is on the young side, so you know, running costs, you know, compared to I get slagged off for going into running costs about, you know, the A35 C43, but it is something you gotta consider. The type of people that, you know, that are looking to get in this type of car. We are on the young side anyway.
Definitely.
And you know, if you're looking at this, were you looking at the S3 Golf R?
Not really, you know, I
had your eyes set straight on this.
Yeah, Merc, the inside and, you know, the technology and all the systems that they have, all the little features that make it that extra bit nice. The steering wheel, like the multifunction.
Yeah, one thing I will say, the interior of this A35 now it's the best interior out of the hot hatch range. It is unbelievable, like especially with the steering wheel and the cockpit. You couldn't tell if you're in an A35 or, you know, the full fat A45 or an AMG GT. It does fire off. It is a nippy car. Now the big difference for me is obviously I've gotten used to my C43, which is, it's a big car compared to the A45, and then jumping back into this, you know, you sit lower down. We're going to take it to some country roads and actually throw it around some corners, which, you know, it's pointless doing it in my C43. It's a bit too big and a bit too wallowy and soft, whereas this is kind of, it was designed for basically just to be thrown around corners and stuff. Now, a lot of you in the comments, straight away you're going to go, this is the poverty spec, and yeah, it's not actually spec that high, and you know, it's lacking the aero pack on the outside. It's more like kind of the stealth look. But if you can get a good deal on one of these, you're laughing, because, you know, at the end of the day, the money you're paying for it,
believe it or not,
the smiles,
it's not the money that pays for the car every month isn't the big issue. It's your insurances, your tyres,
things
brakes.
like that. For this type of car, I mean, its list price isn't cheap. It starts at 35 grand, and by the time you put stuff on it, you can get it close to 45k. A lot of money that for a small car. However, I think with this type of car, leasing is probably the best way. You know, if you buy a car like this, you're only going to keep this for like 2-3 years, aren't you? Because you're going to get bored. You're young. You're going to want something else. Exactly. So, I mean, if you're planning to keep the car for like 6 years or something, don't lease, buy it. But you're paying like what, a couple of £100 a month with 9 months deposit, and it's not just this car. You know, if you shop around, you can get some really good deals on cars like this that, on the face of it, seem expensive. Like, you know, if you don't shop around with anything, you're not going to get the best deals. You know, if you don't ask, you don't get.
I mean, literally, as you said, I got personally a very good deal, but it's getting me scared to go around them corners.
It is a fun little car. So we've got four-wheel drive in this, pretty much like all the hatchbacks out there now. The S3, the Golf R, dropping things all over the place, aren't we? But it corners so flat. My C43 does waft about a bit. I get initial understeer before the car actually bites and goes around the corner, which, yeah, I expect. It's not a C63, it is a bigger car, heavier, whereas this is light and agile. We're just going to turn on to some country roads now, so we can actually, like, do you know what, it is fun. No, you don't, it actually just bites straight away. which, considering this isn't the A45, it's really, really good, because again, the A45, again, that's almost 60 grand. So you got to decide between, you know, is the extra kind of
for a hatchback as well.
Exactly, the performance. I mean, in the real world,
you used to be looking at
like a proper, you know, full fat kind of big car,
Porsche or something, like a couple of years old.
Yeah, a little pop-on upshift. This doesn't have the performance exhaust, but
it's a little fart in it. Yeah, farts on the up, pops on the down.
But a car of this size is perfect for like British B roads. The throttle response is actually so good. Now, the brakes on this are the old brakes from the full-fat A35 AMG of the previous generation, which they were big brakes, and you know, you stopped on a dime. So the brakes on this are, again, really, really good for what is, you know, it's not the full-fat model. This is like the semi-skimmed version, I'd say. Little slip of the traction, but it was a bit damp there. But you know, this is like you point it in one direction and it goes there. And the roads aren't, you know, they are muddy, wet, but this just grips. And do you know what? I thought when this first came out, I used to slag it off a little bit, thinking, you know, its looks, you know, the exhaust note and everything like that, it would just be too skimmed down from an A45. But for the money and for what it's up against, the S3, the Golf R, I think it's real. If you're looking at a car like this, you're going for that kind of brand name and kind of the interior. So I think you probably rule out the Golf R. You'd be looking at maybe an Audi S3.
Just a bit bland inside, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Where you spend most of your time is on the inside. So you've got sports suspension, which is completely different from the previous A250. You've got stiffer roll bars, dampers. Oh, it's just so agile. You do get quite a lot of pops on the overall. I'm in Sports Plus at the minute, which, you know, that's what you're going to be driving around on roads like this. And I've heard a lot of stick from the exhaust on these cars, but it actually doesn't sound too bad. I know modern cars these days, they're now pump sounded, believe it or not, and mine's really bad for that actually, so I don't actually know how loud the car is. And that's just down to the new EU rules, this thing called a PPF, petrol particulate filter. So all these new cars sound worse than the cars that they replaced, and there's just no two ways about that, unless you completely replace the exhaust system, which you're not going to do. You've got to think about plus you've got to think about the insurance, warranty, things like that. But this is actually a really, really fun little car, and it's all you need on British roads. So at the end of the day, when you're getting cars like with 500-600 horsepower and they're quite big, you can't really use them, whereas this is really agile. You can throw it around the bends and everything like that.
Them if you're looking at the luxury side of them cars.
Exactly.
You get that power.
But I'm actually, guys, this A35, I'm actually really impressed with it. Like it is a literal like pocket rocket, and it is a lot of fun. It's so agile around, you know, those small country roads, which is, you know, primarily where you're going to exploit a car like this. No wonder your fuel bill's so high, because you're always just wanting to constantly kind of throw around.
We've just been able to hear that pop.
I mean, this is in comfort mode now, and it's quite a smooth progression. It's not as vicious as obviously accelerating Sport Plus, but you're not always going to be in Sport Plus. You know, if you're just quietly trying to overtake a car or whatever on the motorway, you just put your foot down. You expect it to drop down and go, which it does. Yeah. So although this is a new A35, it uses it's the same 2-litre engine from the A250 old one, but it's been retuned and strengthened and had other bits added.
Bi-turbo, I think, instead of
I'm pretty sure it's a single turbo.
Have a single turbo. No, this is bi-turbo.
This is bi-turbo, sure.
That's what it says there on the side. Bi-turbo 4MATIC.
Right. If he's chatting, we'll find out. I think it's single turbo.
Bro, I know what it says on the
Does it say bi-turbo 4? I thought it said turbo 4MATIC.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Maybe I don't, you know. Maybe I've seen that.
Now you've been baited out on the internet.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's the similar. You know, it's 306 horsepower, same amount of power as the current S3, the Golf R, the new M135i, which I wouldn't go near. I hate the looks of that car. Have you seen the new one, M135?
Don't like Beamers, mate. I had a bad experience once.
The interior's let it down for me.
The 135, the handling's pretty good. I have driven one. It's more like it is, but it's just
there's more feel.
If it's your car, if it's not just for a day, even if it was for a day, I'd pick this over the 135.
Because you've got to factor everything in. This is a daily car for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it does everything. You want the comfort, you want the sportiness, you want like the premium interior, which is what you've got in this. Like the interior in this is now like next gen. It used to be Audi used to have the best interiors. I think it's Mercedes now, to be fair. If you are considering an A35, I will be doing more content on this A35, provided he lets me.
Yeah, definitely.
So do let me know down in the comments in terms of like running costs and things like that, because you'll know that better than me. Yeah. You're experiencing them firsthand.
To be honest, I don't drive loads, but I don't not drive the car. I'm probably doing about, it's different on weekends, but during the week maybe 40 to 45, 50 miles a day. That's just average. Sometimes 20, maybe 60, but I'm putting in about, and I don't drive around in Sport Plus all the time. Do you know what I mean? I drive around in comfort, but it does go in Sport Plus quite regularly.
It's the whole point of having a car. Every now and then you want a special
moment. And I'm probably, in fuel costs, putting in about 30 to 40 pounds a day.
A day?
A day.
30?
I swear to God, 30 pounds, probably more than 30, but 40 pounds more weekend, when I've
that's like, but that doesn't go against
on a Sunday. Trust me, it goes.
A pound a mile? You'll get ripped to shreds. I'm going to edit that out because you'll get ripped to shreds on that.
Will I?
Yeah.
Right,
you're doing 30, 40 quid a day.
Maybe I'm driving more miles.
Yeah, you're doing more miles. Yeah, we'll check that.
I am putting that much in
the internet's a ruthless place, Hassan. If you make a mistake...
Cut that out. Yeah, you said you can cut it out anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I'll leave these bits in.
You get me nervous, don't you? The window.
As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.